Everyone. Happy Friday. Happy weekend to everybody. Hope your weekend's off to a good start. Decided to go and play this a little bit earlier than I would normally do, just for the heck of it. We are in San Diego, Petco Park, for the first of a 3-game series between the Rockies and the Padres. This game was played Friday, April 11th. It's game number 13 in the replay. Petco Park, symmetrical, but very stingy on singles, only a 1, and home runs 1 to 10. San Diego, via the Action PC baseball game, and assuming that is done, is giving them a record of 9-4, and our replay Rockies are 4-8. Pitch matchup: Nick Pivetta, 2-0 on the replay against German Marquez, who was 0-1 on the replay. Good evening, Ben. Hope your weekend's off to a good start. Rockies do have 2 non-carded players, so we'll be using the nameless player for Zach Veen, the leadoff hitter, and for Chris Bryant, the number 5 hitter. So Padres have everybody, so don't have to worry about them. But Zach Veen will lead things off. Oh, sorry to hear that, Ben. Well, I don't know if it'll do that or not. It depends on if you're rooting for the Rockies to get killed again or to be competitive. I don't know. All right, here is Nick Pivetta facing Veen. Veen is a left-handed hitter. And that is a 4. Oh, this thing might have to, trying to figure out if it's better to go this way. I'm guessing it's better to go this way. I had it. All right, so 4-8 for a lefty is a strikeout. Nick Pivetta puts the K on Veen. 1 down for Kyle Farmer. That's a 6-8. 6-8's 1-17 as a single. Changed up my D20, making a black D20. 1-17. That's going to get down for a base hit for Kyle Farmer. He's aboard. The hold rating on Pivetta is a -2. Farmer not much of a threat to steal. He will stay right where he is. And Ezekiel Tovar, the shortstop, will step in. Whoop, that one got hung up there. We're going to re-roll them. We get a 2-11, and that's a ballpark single, which is not good. Unlike Coors Field, where the single is 1-19, Petco Park singles only are a 1. And it's not going to happen, obviously. So that's going to end up being a line out to short. Out number 2 for Ryan McMahon, third baseman. 6'4", lefty. That's a ground ball shortstop X. And we are looking at Bogarts. He's a 3E10. 3-15, he will get to that. No doubt about it. Now we're checking for the error on the E10 at short. And that is a 16, 17, and 18. Those are the numbers to avoid. And he does that barely with a 15. So he makes the play. And the Rockies, other than the 1 single, they go away with nothing happening. We go to the bottom of the first. Colorado nothing. Padres coming to bat. On the mound, German Marquez, a very pitiful 3-16 with a 6.70 ERA. And good evening, Barbara. Yeah, I'm a little early today. I've got some things I want to do later tonight, and I don't want to be real late, so decided to bump it up an hour from the usual time. So Fernando Tatis will lead off for the Padres. And that is a 1-6, and he's going to draw a base on balls. Not what Marquez wanted to do. And Marquez is a +5, so Tatis is going to be looking to think about getting a lead here. He needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. And that's a 4. Yeah, we'll do it because that falls in the 2 through 5 category. He's a 19, being held as a 17, but then the +5 is a 22. 19 is the highest you can have. Let's see if it's worthwhile to throw down. Let me see what Goodman's T rating is. His T rating is only a 5, so it's not that big of a deal. 1-19, he's in there. That's a 3, so he's got to avoid a 1 to 5 to make sure there's no throwing error, which he does. So, but it will be a stolen base for Tatis. So Tatis steals second base. He's in scoring position for Luis Arias. And this may be a first. I don't think I've ever seen a player with an E1 at a first baseman with an E1 rating. But he is a 4E1 at first base. I don't remember ever seeing anybody with an E1 before. Not an infielder like this. Not a first baseman. But, hey, Strat rated him that way for a reason, I suppose. 2-6, and that's going to be a run scored because that's a double or a single, 2 stars either way. To 14, it'll be a single, but it's 2-star single. And Tatis will score, and Padres jump on the Rockies early, 1-0. Now Arias will look to get the lead. Needs a 4 or a 5. And here we go. Scam likely. Does anyone want to call that number and bug the crap out of them? Because they sure do bug the crap out of me. You're more than welcome to write that number and call them for me. Tell them to leave me alone while I'm trying to stream games. So, anyway, I think I'm the king of scams. Scam likely calls. 4 or 5. Nope, not going to happen, so he'll hold. And here is Manny Machado, third baseman. That is a 110 for Machado, and that's more trouble for Marquez. 1-3 is a double. 4-20 is a single. That is a double, 2 stars. That'll put runners at second and third. Still nobody out. And Marquez in deep trouble. Here is Gavin Sheets. The infield is back. They desperately need outs. 5-6, and that's a walk. So I'm sorry, 5-6 over here is a strikeout. I was looking at 6-6. 5-6 is a strikeout. So Marquez gets a strikeout. Now with 1 out, they'll play the infield in. Less risk in doing that when there's already 1 out. So they will play the infield in for Xander Bogaerts. And that is a 2-7 for Bogaerts. That's a single. It's anti-clutch, but there are not 2 outs. There's only 1 out. If there had been 2 outs, this base hit would turn to an out, but it's only 1 out, so it'll be a straight-out single. The single is to center field. And they don't have Doyle, the good fielding center fielder. They got Moniak, the maniac, in center field. He's a +1 arm. So Machado runs an 11, not being held to 12. +1 is a 13. 1-13, they're going to send him. If they throw through, then Machado will take second. They're going to have to throw through, force the issue. So Bogaerts will take second on the throw. But a 1-13, he is safe. And he is safe. So it will be a 2-run single off the bat of Bogaerts, rather. It's 3-0 Padres. Bogaerts does take second on the throw, but they kind of had to throw through. They really didn't have a whole lot of choice there. Hello, Jim. Good to see you. Jose Iglesias, batter, 112. That's a ground ball shortstop A. That would have been a double play had we cut the throw, but we didn't. So just 2 away now for Jason Hayward. Runner on second had to hold. Jason Hayward, 6-6, and that's a walk. It's going to keep the inning going. That is the second walk for Jason Hayward. And here is Brandon Lockridge. This is a guy I've never heard of before. I have no idea who Brandon Lockridge is. I've heard of all the other Padres, but not Brandon Lockridge. That's a 4-6, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. So Marquez does strike out 2, but he gives up 3 runs as 8 come to the plate. And it's the Padres 3, Rockies nothing after 1 inning of play. Here is Nick Pivetta. And he will be facing Chris Bryant, who is also using the nameless player card. Chris Bryant will play for 2 more games. On April the 13th, he goes on the disabled list and does not come back all year long. So only a few more games to have to deal with this. 6-7, we're off the pitcher card anyway. 6-7's ground ball second base X. That is Iglesias. He's a 2. 2 and a 4. I still think he'll get to that. 2 and a 4. Yep, G3. And he is an E5. So at second base, the only errors are 16 and 18. And he has a 14, so that's good enough. So Iglesias will throw out Bryant. 1 away for Nick Martini. 3-6 for Martini, and that's a ground ball to short. Bogaerts takes care of it. 2 down for Michael Tolia. 6-11. Fly ball right field X. That is going to be Tatis. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're checking the E3 for a right fielder. And E3, 3, 15, and 18. Those are the numbers to avoid, which he does quite well. And it's a 1, 2, 3 inning for Nick Pivetta. Rockies go rather meekly. We go to the bottom of the second, still 3-0 in favor of the Padres. Marquez back out. And he will be facing Elias Diaz, the only man not to bat in the first inning for San Diego. Two, 4, and that's going to be a walk. Walk number 3 for Elias Diaz, or for Marquez, rather. Diaz, no threat to run, will not be held. Here's Tatis. That's a 5-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's Moniak the Maniac. He's a 4E11. 4-19, he'll get to that. E11 in center field, he's got to avoid 3, 13, 16, and 18. 3, 13, 16, and 18, which he does. So Moniak makes the play. 1 down. Thank you all for being here this evening, sharing this replay with me. Here's Arias. 5-7, and that's going to be a trouble for Marquez again. 1 to 10's a double, 11 to 20 is a single. 2 stars either way. That will be a double, but it is a 2-star double. So the run on first, Diaz will have to stop at third. Runners on the corners now with 1 out, and Manny Machado, the batter. Arias will try for the lead. He needs a 4 or a 5. Which he gets. So he's going to go 17, being held to 15, but the +5 makes it a 20. 1 to 19, and that is a 19. He barely got in there. Stolen base. I'm sorry, Rise was at second. My bad. I was thinking he was stealing first. I got confused. Never mind. No stolen base. Base runner, the base coach was confused. All right, so nix that. And here is Machado. Infield is in. Second and third, 1 out. 6-6, and that is another walk issued by Marquez. He may not be around much longer. Marquez, his 3rd walk. Bases are loaded. 1 out for Gavin Sheets. Infield looking for the double play. Heck knows they can use one. 2-2, and that is a fly ball to left field B ? Possible sacrifice fly. The lead runner Diaz, though, is only a 9. Left fielder Arm Veen's a 0. So it'd be, you add 2 on the B ? Makes it an 11. 1 to an 11. 55% chance. They're going to send him. 55% chance they're going to send him. 1 to 11, it's a sacrifice fly. 12 or higher, it's a double play. And he's in there. Sacrifice fly by Gavin Sheets. Diaz scores. Makes it 4-0 Padres. 2 down now for Xander Bogaerts. Oh, that got hung up there. Let's redo that one. 4-9, and that's a fly to center to end the inning. So after 2 complete, Padres lead it 4-0. Unfortunately, on some of these games, we're not getting close games. But that's the Rockies for you. I knew that coming into this. I wasn't expecting close games at all. The only reason I did this, like I said, is it was a play on words of the Rocky Horror Picture Show with the Rocky Horror Baseball Show. And they started out 9 and 50, and I wanted to see if I can recreate the 9 and 50. And I wanted to do something with this 2025 set that I bought rather than just stick it in a box. So that's why we're at where we're at. All right. Here is Hunter Goodman. 6-7 for Goodman. That's a ground ball second base X. We're right back to Iglesias. He's a 2. 2 and a 4. We know he's going to get that. We've already been there. It's a G3. And E5, we've been there before too. 16 and 18, the only 2 errors. And that's not even close. So that will be an easy play. Goodman retired. Here's Moniak the Maniac. 2-7, and he strikes out. 2 down, back to the top of the order for Zach Veen. 4-3, lefty, ground ball, third base, X. That's Machado. He's a 2E18. 2 and a 5, he'll get to that. E18 at third base. He's got to avoid 3-11 and then 15 through 17. And that's a 9. He did just fine. Veen is out of there, and so are the Rockies. So we go to the bottom of the third. Score remains 4-0 San Diego. Marquez back out, but I don't know for how long because he just has not been effective. Here is Jose Iglesias, not to be confused with Julio Iglesias. It's a 4-11, and that is a fly ball left field X. And that's going to end up being the left fielder Veen. He's a 3E0. 3 and a 9, he'll get to that, I believe. Let me double check it. I'm pretty sure he does. 3 and a 9 is an F2, so he will get to that. And he did not make an error all year, so he can't make an error now. That will be a fly to left. 1 down for Jason Hayward. That's a 2-7 for Hayward, and he will pop to short. 2 down for Brandon Lockridge. 4-7, and that's a base hit. You just knew Marquez couldn't go 1, 2, 3. It would just been too easy to do that. And now Lockridge will try to get the lead. He needs a 3 through 6. Doesn't get it. He'll hold. And here is Elias Diaz. And that is a 5-5, and that's a fly to center. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. So the fly out is good. At the end of 3 complete, it is still San Diego 4, Colorado nothing. And this has all the earmarks of about a 10-2 game, unfortunately. So I'm happy to have you folks here to keep me company on this game that's not necessarily all that thrilling. Be kind of boring by myself. All right, here's Kyle Farmer, 6'8", and that's a 1-17 single. And that's going to be a 15 base hit. So kind of like what Beatles Eternally says a lot, it's a community thing. Makes it nice. So here's Tovar. 5-3, and that is a ground ball first base X. First baseman is Arias, and again, he's got that E1, which is very strange. He's a 4 and a 13. It should be no problem. 4 and a 13 is a G3, so the runner will advance. But on the E1, 17 and 18 are the only error chances. And so he makes the play. His only play is to go to first to throw to Pivetta covering. Farmer will take second base. So Ryan McMahon is up with a runner in scoring position. 1 out. First runner to get in scoring position for the Rockies. 112 for McMahon. Ground ball to second. That'll get the runner to third, but now there are 2 outs. And it's all up to Mr. Nameless Player, Chris Bryant. So the hopes are not very heavy or not very happy. 1 wild pitch chance, but he's got a 0 wild pitch, so no wild pitch. There are no clutch results on the Nameless Player cards. It would normally be a clutch situation. Bryant instead, 3-5, will fly to center, and they leave the runner at third base. No surprise there. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. And we will have Padres coming up against Marquez, and it will be the top of the order, Tatis. Tatis is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored, stolen base. .26, and that's going to be a fly to right field. And I did look it up. I did look up the pitching matchups in the LA series upcoming. Shohei Ohtani does not pitch in any of those 3 games. He does DH, so you'll be able to see him as a DH, but not as a pitcher. All right, here's Luis Arias. He's singled and doubled. 4-9, and that's a ground ball to second, 2 down. Could it be a 1-2-3 inning? Got to get Machado, get it done. It's a 1-7, and that's a ground ball to short. And he gets the 1-2-3 inning. Go figure. 1-2-3 go the Rockies. We go to the top of the fifth. Oops. Still 4-0 Padres. Pivetta has a fatigue of 6. Marquez's fatigue will be next inning. But Pivetta can at least go 6, maybe more, depending on how he's doing. Right now, he's doing pretty good, pitching a 2-hit shutout. Here's Martini and Rossi on the rocks. 3-9, and that's a strikeout. And that's going to be strikeout number 3. I had to look it up. It was a vermouth of some. I don't even know what a vermouth is because I don't drink alcohol. But I looked it up. It's some sort of vermouth. I just remember the commercial back in the day. That's all. Here's Tolia. 2-9. Struck him out. Strikeout number 4. So I guess I'm not in the know on those kind of things. Here's Goodman, 110, and that's a ground ball right back to Pivetta. Boy, that was quick. 1, 2, 3, they go. Go to the bottom of the 5th. Okay, a vermouth and a whiskey is a Manhattan, okay? And I don't know what dry vermouth is versus a regular vermouth. So I don't even know. Couldn't tell you. All right, so here is Marquez. Strongest thing I drink is coffee. That's my vice, is coffee. All right, German Marquez. And it's not because I'm overly, religious or anything like that. It's just I don't care for it. It just doesn't. It never appealed to me, and I don't like the taste of it. Call me weird. It's just what it is. All right, so here's Gavin Sheets, but I'm not knocking anybody else that does. To each their own. I just hope if you do partake that you partake, what's the right word for it, in moderation. All right, and certainly not driving at the same time. Here's Gavin Sheets, 5-7, and that is a 1-10 double. 11-20 is a single. And that's going to be a base hit for Gavin Sheets. He's one of the few Rockies that has no threat to run, so he'll hold. Here's Bogarts, 6-8, and that's trouble for Marquez again. 1's a triple, 2-20's a double. That'll be a double. It's assumed to go to center field. Sheets doesn't run all that well, and with nobody out, they will hold him at third base. So second and third, nobody out, and the bullpen for the Rockies is already loosening down there. Let's look and see who they might be bringing in. They're gonna look to bring in, or the guy warming up is Jimmy Herget. Jimmy Herget can give him 2 innings out of the pen. So Jimmy Herget loosening in the bullpen. Iglesias, your batter. Nobody out. They're going to play the infield in and take a chance that they don't give up a C&I, single or something. 1-6. It's a ground ball first base B, so it's a good thing it did play in. They get the runner at the plate. Sheets will be out 3-2 because ground ball B, when the infield in, it's a force. It's a play at the plate that's out. So it'll be a fielder's choice. It's going to go 3-2. Bogarts will take third base, but they did at least temporarily save a run. Iglesias now will look to get a lead. He needs a 5. Doesn't get it. So now a double play could get them out of the inning. Jason Hayward, the batter. They're back now for the double play. 3-10, and it's a line out to first. That is snagged by Tolia. So 2 nice defensive plays by Tolia. Now they're 1 out away from getting out of the inning. And it's Brandon Lockridge in the clutch. Lockridge in the clutch is completely neutral. If Marquez gives up another hit, he will reach fatigue. 4-5, and he gets a ground ball to third to get out of the inning. So how about that? First, second, and third, nobody out, and he gets out of it. And Marquez will actually come back and pitch the 6th. What a turn of events that was. Keep them in the game at 4-0. But their offense has, stagnated, if you want to call it that. All right, here is Pivetta, and this will be his fatigue inning, number 6. So we'll keep an eye on his fatigue. And it'll be Moniak the Maniac to lead things off. 4-8, and that's a strikeout, number 5. I don't think that's his real nickname. It just hit me one day to call him that, so I've just been calling him that just for fun. Here's Zach Veen. That's a 4-4 lefty, fly ball center field X, and that is Lockridge, who's a 2. 2 and a 14, he'll get to that. E8 and a 10 is no problem whatsoever. So that is a fly out to center field. 2 down for Kyle Farmer. Farmer, 2 for 2. In fact, he's got the only 2 hits of the game for the Rockies. They both belong to Kyle Farmer. 2 singles. That's it. That's all they've done offensively. That's a 5-3. It's a ground ball first base X. We're looking at Arias. He's a 4. 4 and a 14. He'll get to that. Only way he makes an error is 17 or 18. And he gets it and flips to the pitcher covering. So Pivetta keeps full endurance into the 7th inning. But this is 2025 after all, so I will cap him at 7 innings regardless, because pitchers in 2025 just don't throw a lot of innings. So here's Marquez. Herget's still loosening the bullpen. He's actually ready. At the minute that Marquez has issues, I think they'll pull him. Here's Diaz. It's a 5-8, and that's a ground ball second base X. Farmer, he's a 3E5. 3 and a 13 is okay. E5 as a second baseman. He's got to avoid 16 and 18, which he does. So good play for Kyle. Whoops. Yeah, it is down here. Kyle Farmer. 1 away, and we're back to the top of the order for Tatis. 1-6, and that's a walk, not what Marquez needed. That is going to be walk number 4 for Marquez. And now Tatis will look to get a lead. Actually, he may not. They're going to pull Marquez right here. So Marquez is being lifted for Jimmy Herget. Herget on the 2025 season was 1-2 with a 2.48 ERA, one of their better pitchers. So Jimmy Herget will come on, and that will certainly change the dynamics of the runner hold, because instead of a +5, he's a -1 with a +1, so that makes that a 0. So now if he gets the lead, it'd be a 1-17 instead of a 1-20. He's still going to try for the lead, though. So he needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. Doesn't get it, so he will hold. And here is Luis Arias. 6'6", left-handed, is a fly ball to center. Veen runs it down, 2 away for Manny Machado. We'll do the numbers on Marquez at the end of this half inning. That's a 2-4, rather. 2-4 is a ground ball back to Herget. That'll do it. So after a really bad start, the Rockies trying to hang in there, but it might be an uphill battle because their offense is just, maybe they're suffering jet lag like the Brewers did the other day. I don't know. So Marquez is going to go 5 1/3 innings. And he's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. I've got him for 4 runs, all earned. He walked, let me make sure I got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4. He actually walked 5. It should have been 5 here. So he walked 5. And he only struck out 2. So we close the book on Marquez. He's in danger of dropping to 0-2. So Pivetta back out for the 7th inning. This will be his last inning regardless. And we'll look at the Padre bullpen, see who they have on their roster. And I don't know about a lot of these guys, so I'm not sure. I do know that Suarez is their closer because he had 40 saves. They have 3 lefties in the bullpen. They have Yuki Matsui, they have Adrian Morjan, and Wandy Peralta. Those are 3 from the left side. From the right side, they have Jason, I guess it's just pronounced Adam. I don't know if it's got some special pronunciation, but it's just Jason Adam, I call him. Jeremiah Estrada, Alec Jacob, and then the closer, Robert Suarez. So it looks like in the bullpen, they are going to have Alec Jacob loosening in the bullpen in back of Pivetta. So we'll see what happens with that. Tovar to lead it off here in the top of the 7th of a 4-0 ball game. That's a 6-4 ground ball shortstop X, and that is going to be Mr. Bogarts. He's a 3E10. 3 and an 8, I believe, is still okay. 3 and an 8 is a G3. So the shortstop E10, he's got to avoid 16, 17, and 18, which he does very easily, and Tovar is out of there. One away for Ryan McMahon. 2-12 for McMahon. He flies to center. Hauled in by Lockridge. 2 down, and here is Mr. Chris Bryant. That's a 2-7 for Bryant. Struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for Pivetta, and he will be done for the day, or the night. 7 innings pitched, and he limited the Rockies to just 2 hits, no runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 6. I'd say it's pretty dominant. And Alec Jacob will be the new pitcher for the Padres. He can go 2 innings if need be to finish out the game. He is a +6, but I don't think the Rockies, they have to get on base before they can steal. And down 4-0, I doubt they try anything. So we are going to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time here at Petco Park. Jimmy Herget will be out there to pitch his second inning of work. He only faced 2 batters in his first inning, so he should be good to go. Here's Gavin Sheets. That's a 3-7 for Sheets, and that's trouble. 1-14 is a double. 15-20 is a single. And that's going to be a leadoff double for Sheets. He is now 2 for 3, including a sacrifice fly. Here's Xander Bogarts. Bogarts is 2 for 3. 6-10, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That'll be Tovar. He's a 2. 2 and a 16. That will freeze the runner at second base. He is an E16, so he has to avoid 14 and 17. He's rolled 14 quite a bit. Not this time, though. This time he makes the play. 1 down. Runner at second base. Sheets will hold. Here's Jose Iglesias. That's a 3-2 for Iglesias. That's a split. 1-17 is a single. Anything else he lines to short. And that is a base hit. 1 star, though. So it's first and third with 1 out. And that'll send up Jason Hayward. Infield looking for that double play to get out of the inning. That is a 2-7 for Hayward. And they get a pop-up to short. Not a double play, but it keeps everybody where they are. 2 down now. Clutch situation for Lockridge. And we looked at last time on Lockridge. He has no rating for clutch. So he'll just swing away like normal. It's a 3-10, and he's going to ground it to first where Tolia makes the play. And so Herget pitches around the leadoff double. And they're going to see if Herget can finish out the game and save the bullpen for the rest of the series. Right now, Alec Jacob will be coming on. Jacob 1-0 with a 5.13 ERA and no saves in 33 innings of pitching. But he does have a factor of 2 for fatigue, which is one of the reasons why they want him in there, because he can pitch the last 2 innings. He's going to face Martini, Tolia, and Goodman for the Rockies. Rockies limited just 2 hits through 7 innings. Just can't get anything going. 2-9, and that's going to be a double 1-5, single 6-20 for Martini. And that's going to be a double for Martini. I guess you can call that a double Martini. He's aboard. Maybe the change of pitching kind of gave the Rockies some hope here. So here's Tolia. 2-12, and that's a ballpark blast. It's a 1-10 for Tolia to go deep. 12, not quite deep enough. Fly to right, 1 away. Just got up under it. 1 down, and that will send up Hunter Goodman. 4-4, and that's going to be a catcher X. Catcher in this case is Diaz. He's a 3. 3 and a 4. This could be some sort of a pass ball, maybe. 3 and a 4 is actually it's going to be a wild pitch. 3 and a 4 is going to be a wild pitch. E9, and that is a 17. That could be problems too. E9, nope, 18's the error, not 17. But it will be a wild pitch, and it will move the runner to third base. So they get the runner on third with less than 2 outs. Since the Padres are ahead 4-0, they're going to play the infield back, give up a run on a ground out. Here's Goodman. 5-6, and that's a walk. First walk issued by Jacob, and here's Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. Runners on the corners and 1 out. He's got to avoid hitting into a double play. Whoop, that got hung up. Let's redo this again. That is a 2-4. It's ground ball pitcher B. So that's going to get the runner at the plate because the infield, the pitcher is always considered in. And on a ground ball B, the play is at the plate. So it's a 1-2 ground out. Fielder's choice for Moniak. Goodman takes second base. So unfortunate break there for the Rockies. And now 2 outs. And we might get a pinch hitter. I think we will for Veen. Rockies going to their bench. And they will go to Tyler Freeman. And Freeman will stay in the game to play right field. They'll move Martini to left field. So Tyler Freeman's going to pinch hit with 2 outs and runners at first and second. It is a clutch situation. Tyler Freeman will pinch hit in the 8th and then play right field in the 8th. And then Martini will move to left field. Okay, so Freeman in a clutch situation. And in the clutch, Freeman gains a hit 2-3. That's a 4-8. And that's a 1-15 single. It would load the bases. But it's a 19. He lines it to third, and Tatis snags it to end the inning. So unfortunate break there for the Rockies. We go to the bottom of the 8th, still 4-0. Herget back out. He's gone an inning and 2/3 so far, but he's got fatigue of 2. He's going to face Elias Diaz. That's a 2-8 for Diaz, and he strikes out. 1 away, first strikeout for Herget. Tomorrow at noon Eastern, don't forget, is the NBC Game of the Week in Fall Classic Baseball. 1979 is the season, and the game is the Montreal Expos at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Scott Sanderson against Bert Blyleven. That's at noon tomorrow. Fall Classic Baseball. All right, here is Fernando Tatis. 4-3, and that's a ballpark single check, which obviously probably won't happen, and it will not, so it will be a line out to short for out number 2. So Herget's going to do well for himself and save the rest of that bullpen. Here's Arias, 4-9. Well, maybe he won't. It's a walk, so we got to make sure he doesn't implode to the last minute. Arias is on with 2 outs for Manny Machado. Machado, 3-6 for Machado, and he strikes out to end the inning. So Herget's going to do very well for himself. Herget's going to go 2 2/3. He will have to rest in tomorrow's game for sure. 2 2/3. He gives up 2 hits, no runs, which was the most important thing, walking 1 and striking out 2. So we go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Rockies. They trail it 4-0. Alec Jacob is out, but looming in the bullpen is their closer, Robert Suarez, in case Jacob can't get the job done. Suarez, 4-6, 2.97 ERA and 40 saves. So he is light tossing in the bullpen just in case Jacob can't finish what he started here. For the Rockies, it will be Farmer, Tovar, and McMahon. Farmer, Tovar, and McMahon due up. See what Farmer can do here. 1-7 for Farmer, and he strikes out. One away for Ezekiel Tovar. Rockies limited to just 3 hits in this game so far. No runs and 3 hits. 6-8, and that's going to be a double. That's the 4th hit. Double for Tovar. That'll bring up Ryan McMahon. If the Rockies score a run, you will see Suarez come in to close it out. They'll let Jacob stay as long as there's no score. McMahon, 4-6, and that's a line out to short, 2 down. And now we are down to Chris Bryant, but we're going to have a pinch hitter for Chris Bryant. And they will go to Brenton Doyle. They were giving him the game off, but they're going to go ahead and let him swing a bat. So Brenton Doyle will pinch hit here in the top of the 9th. Brenton Doyle. Doyle, we look at his numbers. Doyle, 233 average, 15 home runs. Not great, but certainly better than what Chris Bryant was doing. So Doyle it is. Last chance. Runner at second, 2 outs. It is a clutch situation. Clutch situation for Doyle, and he gains a hit on 2-8. It's a 3-5, and he strikes out to end the ball game. So the Rockies just couldn't get anything offensively going. They got decent pitching after the first inning. Everything settled in, but Marquez will take the loss. Pivetta goes to 3-0 with the win. Jacob does not get a save. It was not a save situation. So, and you can't pitch yourself into a save situation. So he goes 2 innings, gives up 2 hits, no runs, walks 1, and strikes out 2. So final line score for the Padres, 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. For the Rockies, no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. So there you have it. Game number 13 in the books. The Rockies dropped to 4-9 on the replay. And first game here on the West Coast. Like I said, it could be some jet lag. You never know what the storyline might be on that. But they will try again tomorrow night. And for the Rockies, they will be sending young right-hander Dolander to the mound. And the Padres will be sending left-hander Kyle Hart to the mound. Hart will be the starter. He's a starter/reliever. He did have 6 starts on the season. So he will start that game against Dolander for the Rockies. So again, noon Eastern tomorrow, roughly, give or take a few minutes. It is Fall Classic 1979, Pirates and the Expos from Three River Stadium. And then on tomorrow night will be the Rockies and the Padres. Sunday will be Sunday Basic Sunday, where we take the 1962 season and pick the calendar date that we're on and pick a Sunday game and play it in basic rules only. That's Sunday Basic Sunday. And then Sunday afternoon, it'll be the final round of the Valero Texas Open in History Maker Golf. And that'll conclude the festivities for the week and the weekend. And we start all over again Monday morning with the 1987 American League replay, starting the July 3rd date, 1987. So thank you all for being here and keeping me company on this Friday evening. Hope your weekend is off to a good start. Rockies, however, did not have a good start, so maybe your start's better to your weekend's better than the start the Rockies had to theirs. But it was still fun rolling the game, which is all that counts. So I do want to thank everybody who's here. And like I said, if you can make it tomorrow at noon, Fall Classic Baseball, love to have you. Otherwise, if you can make it tomorrow night, probably we'll drop back to 9 o'clock tomorrow night, I'm thinking, to my normal time. I just did it a little bit earlier tonight, but most likely it would be a little bit later, like around 9, 8:30 to 9, somewhere in that neighborhood. Depends on if somebody else is streaming. I don't want to cut into them. So I'll kind of keep an eye out and see who's doing something. And if nobody's on that I can see, then I'll jump on there. So that's about it. So I do appreciate everybody who stopped by. Hope you're enjoying this Rockies replay, even though they're kind of putrid, but that's all part of the lore of the Rockies horror baseball show. They're now 4-9 on their way to the 59 game 9-50. If I like this replay after the 59 games, I might keep going. I don't know, but I'm only committing to the first 59. That's what I'm committing to see if I can get that 9-50 record that they had. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.